What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, this video I want to do, this is in reference to Tank Davis versus Connor Benn and how this could actually hurt Tank. Okay, because Connor Benn is already in a situation where he's lost a lot of interest. People have lost interest in him. Now, I had some of the family say in the last video that, in fairness to Connor, he never said he ate 30 eggs. Yeah, he absolutely did say he ate 30 eggs. They had an actual number, 30. He eats 30 eggs a day. What do you think that the commission got that story from? What do you think Eddie Hearn and anybody else that repeated it got that story from? You think that the commission just said, maybe he eats 30 eggs a day. Now, the correct thing to say is he's not the one that got on camera and said he ate 30 eggs a day, or you didn't see the video of him saying he ate 30 eggs a day, but he never debunked it, okay? Let's rewind, because I covered all of that. And I clearly remember watching like Sky Sports and different channels like that, where these people are talking about the situation itself. Okay, where do you guys think he got the story from? Okay, it's like the Wilder the heavy costume situation. The difference was Wilder said out of his own mouth the costume was too heavy. Then that video disappeared suddenly, but it resurfaced. But bottom line is it was the same thing. Or people saying, nah, Wilder never said, yeah, he absolutely did say it. Now, let's listen to something. Let's listen to some videos, okay?
Get up to 30% off across the store today at Raymore and Flanagan's President's Day sale. Or buy now and pay later.
So let's listen to this.
Connor Benn has been cleared to return to the WC rankings with a failed drugs test last year being blamed on a highly elevated consumption of eggs. This ruling by the WBC doesn't put Benn totally in the clear to box again, because there is still an ongoing investigation by UK Anti-Doping and the British Boxing Board of Control. It does mean, however, that Benn could potentially fight abroad. You might remember that Benn tested positive for a banned substance ahead of a bout with Chris Eubank Jr. It had been scheduled to take place in October last year at a catchweight. Benn denied any wrongdoing. He vowed to clear his name. Well, the WBC have now accepted that eating too many eggs contributed to the result. Benn hasn't boxed since last April. So let's just take...
Okay. Where do you think, once again, where do you think they got the story from? So when you say Connor Benn didn't say that, they have an actual number. He ate 30 eggs. And I'm going to play more clips so I can rewind it for you guys so you can... Yeah, he absolutely said he ate 30 eggs a day.
The timeline of events from the WBC investigation. 23rd of August last year, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, or VADA, notified Connor Benn and the WBC that an A sample contained an adverse finding for clomiphene, which can be used to promote testosterone production whilst also burning fat. A week later, Benn is asked for all the information necessary for an investigation to be carried out. Now, the WBC point out that it wasn't until December that they received a full response from Benn and his team. Well, there was then an inquiry held on the 26th of January this year, but it wasn't until this month that Benn's team provided a full breakdown of his diet and supplement consumption around the failed test. And this is the result of the WBC investigation. They found no conclusive evidence that Benn intentionally or knowingly ingested the banned substance. The fighter's initial defence was that there was a failure of procedures and at the testing laboratory. Well, that argument has been contradicted, with the investigation finding no evidence of that. The WBC used an expert nutritionist to help with analysis and concluded that Benn's elevated consumption of eggs was a contributing factor.
Okay. And what did Connor Benn actually say? Did you hear Connor Benn say, no, I don't think it had nothing to do with that? No. What do you think they got the actual number that he eats 30 eggs a day? This guy didn't repeat the 30 part, but yeah. Okay, let's go to some more clips.
Mate, the fucking world's strongest man would only eat 6 or 8 eggs a day. Look at this geezer, he's pumped up. He'll only eat 2 eggs a day. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't eat fucking 30 eggs a day. No human can eat 30 eggs a day. What the fuck are you going on about, man? That is just insane. Let's have it right. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if people are just scared to say that, but I'm not. You ain't eating 30 eggs a day, mate, and that's facts. Mate,
Okay, and we have that number because that's the number that came out of his mouth to other people. Okay. Let's listen to another clip.
I'm eating 30 eggs a day for a month. Why? Well, bodybuilder from the 1960s, Vince Gironda, claimed that eating 36 eggs a day for 6 weeks was as good as a mild anabolic steroid cycle. Gironda apparently came across a paper where burn victims were being given 35 eggs a day to heal their wounds. To prevent the severe muscle breakdown that can happen, burn victims need to be given a ton of calories and a ton of protein to induce anabolism. In fact, burn victims have been given steroids for this reason. The researchers in the study found that eggs were very effective and very easily absorbed. As for growing muscle, the vitamin-rich egg yolk may be the ticket. For example, the cholesterol in all those eggs may sound scary, but you actually need cholesterol to produce hormones like testosterone. The science on this is really limited, so instead of trying to dig up all these different papers on eggs, I figured I'd just go ahead and eat 30 a day for a month and see what happens. And work out, of course. I'm eating...
Okay, so with Ben being a boxer, you don't think that, this is what I mean about these fighters, you don't think that these guys have the common sense to think about what they're putting in their bodies? Okay? You don't think that these people know, okay, I have to be careful. You're eating, okay, so you heard this guy's reason for eating 30 eggs a day, right? Why was Connor eating 30 eggs a day? What was he trying to gain? Now you can say, well, it's food, but bottom line, 30 eggs a day. That, okay, and that is what came out of Connor's mouth to the commission. Whatever doctor he used, his own personal hub or whatever. That's him telling them he eats 30 eggs a day, and them deciding, okay, 30 eggs a day could produce what? Not a woman's fertility drug. Okay, not what they find in that. That has nothing to do with 30 eggs a day. You understand? But where do you think that came from? It was excuses. It was excuses. He may not have been the one in the hot seat to say it on camera, but where do you think they got that information from, people? Okay, now let's listen to this. And I'm doing this because people forget. And they remember certain things, but they forget. Oh, let's listen to this.
You use clomiphene also to balance out a previous cycle of a steroid or a drug. So it all leads to me now going, you know what? Damn, like I'm not at ease. I'm not happy to say, okay, well, my time is up. Let's hang it up, because everything points to Connor being on this stuff for a while now.
Let's check out another one.
Ben.
Oh, yeah.
His failed drug test has been overturned because of pesky eggs, bro.
Apparently. Something
Apparently.
is mad, because all this time him and Eddie have been saying, the truth will come out, the truth will reveal itself.
So why didn't they
I
just
think
say...
they were looking for an excuse the whole time. Yo, eggs.
So why didn't they just say I had too many eggs?
So after all this time, you've come out and said, first of all, the evidence is inconclusive to put him down.
Lawyer terms.
Yeah. 2, there's a possible chance he didn't mean it because he had too many eggs. How many eggs did you have to be having for it to come up on a drug test, bro? What the fuck? The estimated amount is he had 30 eggs a day. 5 eggs for breakfast, scrambled or omelette or whatever.
I told you guys.
Or you can have a
That's
Rocky
his
Balboa
words.
style. If you have a
He
Rocky
eats
Balboa
30
style,
eggs a day.
crack 5 eggs, get them down, you're like, bro, that's 10 seconds, bro, easily. Put them in a protein shake. You can keep putting eggs. Every meal you have, you can throw 5 eggs.
Connor Benn.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to understand, the fact of the matter is, for him to say, right? For him to say that he eats 30 eggs a day, and for them to say, well, that could have contributed, or that's what contributed to his, him failing his drug test. Okay, that would have been one thing, even if they would have found that and only that. But what they found came from a woman's fertility drug first. So what the eggs have nothing to do with that. Again, it was used as an excuse. Let's listen. Wait. Pause. Now, we're going to listen to this clip from Aki TV. Let's listen to this. I remember this stuff too.
Shocking news of the WBC ruling in favor of Connor Benn that Connor Benn some way somehow received steroids or PEDs in his system from eating too many eggs. This is not a joke. I repeat, this is not a joke. This is real. The WBC has now ruled in their investigation into Connor Benn's positive drug test that there is, quote, no conclusive evidence he intentionally/knowingly ingested clomiphene. WBC accepted Benn's, quote, highly elevated consumption of eggs, end of the quote, as, quote, reasonable explanation, end of the quote, for testing positive for PEDs.
So you
Talk
found
about the corruption in boxing.
Clomiphene due to eating eggs?
This is the wild, wild west.
Okay. Once again, people, where do you think they got the 30 egg consumption from? If I told you I eat a lot of plant-based foods, right? Can you give a number of what I eat unless I give you the number? You understand what I mean? Same thing. If I told you I eat eggs every single day, can you come up with a number if I don't say what that number is? If I tell you I eat steak and shrimp, or I eat steak and eggs, throughout the day, every day, can you give me an exact number on how many times? I say throughout the day doesn't give you an exact number, right? Yes, Connor Benn is the one who told them. Why? They're asking questions about what do you eat. They're trying to figure out what he's eating that could have caused or came to that. So, like I said, you find this clomiphene or whatever in eggs? Is that what you find it in? One thing had nothing to do with the other. There's my video that I did about it. Listen, guys. I'm doing this so I can remind you guys. Okay, so for the WBC to come to that conclusion, where do you think they got the 30 egg story from? For any commission, any of these testing facilities, like, what do you think they got the story from about 30 eggs? Whoever he spoke to. You think, like I said, you think they just came up with that number? You think we got 30 eggs out of nothing? No. 30 eggs a day. That was his words. That was his defense. He spent his time in front of a camera showing an attitude, showing anger, and talking about, I hope the apologies is as loud as the disrespect. And he never cleared up anything. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you say certain things I can't say, my attorneys have to do, okay. So my point was when I said he needs to just stop talking. I remember making a video talking to one of the family, and I said he needs to just stop talking because he's not saying anything that proves him to be innocent. Everything that he's saying is basically based on what? I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, and I'm angry. I'm pissed off that people think I would do that. That's his story. They didn't come up with 30 eggs. They got it from Connor Benn. Pause. Now, off of the 30 eggs for a minute, let's listen to this right here. This is from Bomac.
I think he looked like trash. I didn't even watch the fight. I just heard, some of the coaches was watching it. And I was basically driving, and they were just saying he looked like trash. And I know Pistol Pete. I know Pete real well, so Pete gave him a pretty tough fight, and so I don't think much of him. I really don't know. I really don't know of him. I just hear his name. What?
He said he knows Pistol Pete pretty well, but he says he don't think much of Connor. Why? Because even though he knows Pistol Pete pretty well, he knows Pistol Pete is a C-class fighter. And his sources that told him how Connor looked, well, I saw the fight, and Connor struggled against a C-class fighter, as I told you. Okay? And Bomac is speaking his mind about Connor like he's saying he don't know Connor. I'm going to get into that after this video.
We go down there and pick on guys at 35 and 40. We won't mess with those guys at 54, 47 and 54. Mess with those guys. Call those guys out. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to, fight somebody, go up there and fight the ones at the best, the 54 pounders, the 47 pounders. I think
now, this is the thing, okay? Wait, you know what? Before I get into that, let's hear what Kell Brook had to say.
He said that you should.
Connor Benn's going to get some chocolate down because if he carries on bumping into me and I'm having interviews and then trying to be in my face, that's why he kicked off earlier.
I think it was him that antagonised it.
He did. You know what? He did his shoulder a little past me. That's why he done. He started. He wanted that to happen. So I like the challenger, like Harry comes and thinks that he's going to do me in 2 rounds. He's not boxed nobody, no one at my level. And I'm the main man in Britain, even still, after my last performance. I've not got old overnight. I can perform and I can do what I do.
Okay, I don't know if you could really understand what Kell Brook is saying. That was a Boxing Social interview. Now, the reason I wanted to play that was for this reason as well, okay? If you look at Connor Benn's steps, I agree with Bomac, okay? And I want to rewind this as well. Connor Benn, remember after this egg book nonsense, remember Connor Benn was, calling out Kell Brook? Now, you went from trying to fight Chris Eubanks Jr. at a freaking catch weight. For some reason, it was okay for Ben. Okay. I didn't think it was a smart or safe move for him, really, because, Chris Eubanks Jr. is big enough to really punish him, okay, and strong enough. But he wanted to fight him at a catch weight. Okay, what did I say about Baumgartner calling out Clarissa Shields? Okay, there's more to that as well, with her, acting like she's the A side and trying to, they talk about come meet me at 147, and same thing, another person that failed the drug test that's trying to get the attention off of her. The failed drug test part. So then she gets, she's not seen as guilty, but she's suspended for a year. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, now they said the same things. They can't prove that she took anything willingly. You understand what I mean? So it's like, okay, now, my thing is, okay, you wanted to fight Chris Eubanks Jr. at a catch weight. They tried to bring back this whole, Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubanks Sr., and it's like, why? That came and went. That time is over. Neither one of you guys are your fathers, and it's like, Eddie Hearn thought it was a masterpiece, and I just really felt like it was a stupid fight. Okay, now, either way, they tried to use this storyline to drive this fight, okay? And in the midst of doing all of that, well, it backfired. It didn't work. We saw, because of Connor's situation. Now, of all people, he basically decides he wants to try to fight Kell Brook. We know Kell Brook is way past his prime. The last time we saw Kell Brook, he was fighting Amir Khan. And we know what happened when he fought Terrence Crawford. So we see that we know Kell Brook was not the same guy. Now, even though he knows the same thing, that Kell Brook is not the same guy. Kell Brook is a shell of himself. We all know that. Okay? What do you gain for fighting Kell Brook? Like, what do you actually gain? And remember the whole walk and bump situation, all this nonsense. It's like, what do you gain from that? So you're looking at him going backwards in that sense, right? You want to fight a washed up fighter, and this is great for British boxing. I don't see how. What would the British people get out of it? Just to say we saw Connor Benn versus Kell Brook, and then what? Then what? Because, like I said, Kell Brook is a washed up guy, way past his prime, So it was okay for him to fight Amir Khan because same situation. Okay, Brook was just better than Khan. But he's not elite. when the hell does this Kell Brook name come up anymore? Kell Brook is done. Okay, people said after the Golovkin fight and his face got broken. Okay, they gave him credit for going up, but then he fought Errol Spence, and then they decided that he's washed up. That he got his other side, for the other side of his eye socket broken and all that, right, or whatever. Okay, he fights Terrence Crawford, gets dropped with a freaking jab, and we could see like, okay, yeah, look, the guy's done. So what does Kell Brook versus Connor Benn? What does it do? How does that excite people? I don't care about if it's okay in the UK. Okay, he can fight in the UK. He could have fought a different British fighter. Well, why Kell Brook of all people? Why? Because Kell Brook has respect on his name, but he's a basically washed up past his prime fighter. Okay. Now he comes back. He fights these tune-ups. He fights these C-class guys once again. But now he has no problem with fighting a guy coming up from 135 pounds. To fight at, 147? Just saying, y'all. So you hear what Bomac is saying. And I can tell you, living over here in the States, nobody talks about no damn Connor Benn. So where this can actually hurt Tank Davis will basically just be an addition to Tank Davis already hurting himself. Why? You see, money can cause you to fall off. And it can cause people to wake up towards your arrogance, your ignorance, and your stupidity. Tank Davis, the position he's in, for him to walk that stupid path of it's all about every penny to me, I don't care about anything else, it's apparent now. There's no reason that he can give you as to why he won't fight Devin Haney. Okay? There's no reason that he can give you that why he shouldn't fight Shakur Stevenson, with the exception of Shakur's pulling this retired stuff or whatever. Well, bottom line is, there's no reason for him. For that matter, he could have fought Teofimo. See, my point, rivals, people that he was at 135 with, there's options out there. Again, he see weakness in Connor. I told you, Connor looks different physically, and his power is not what it used to be. He looks different, and his power is different. And so when you watch him and you see the holes in his game, if he don't get you out of there, that's one of those situations where, okay, if he doesn't get the knockout, you can see, okay, he has flaws that stand out. Why do you think Tank Davis is confident in fighting him but not Devin Haney? Are you going to tell me that he's talking about Devin Haney doesn't sell pay-per-views, he doesn't do good numbers? Okay, so does Connor Benn. And you think that Tank Davis versus Connor Benn is a bigger fight than Tank Davis versus Devin Haney or Tank Davis versus Teofimo Lopez? Like, are you shitting me? So this can actually come back to haunt Tank and make Tank look bad. While Connor's already in the position of, look, he's not like known worldwide. He's no big name. He's really not a big name. Okay? His father's more well known than he is. So when you hear Connor Benn's name, like I said, his name, now what did Bomac say? And what did I say in my last video? Connor's name doesn't even come up. The people, but he went to 154. When it doesn't matter. At 150, so what? 147, 154. His name wasn't coming up at 147 as an opponent for the Errol Spences, for the Terrence Crawfords. When was his name coming up? Jerron Boots Ennis. When was his name coming up? I was bringing his name up because I know who Connor Benn is. But at the same time, no. Does anybody really care to see Tank Davis versus Connor? I know I really don't care about this shit. I've been saying this for the longest. All these fights going up and down because, see, Tank doesn't have a reason to do it. Neither does Connor. What does this fight do? The most that can happen is somebody will go, okay, Tank once again moved up in weight, fought a guy and beat him. Okay. So what's your reason for not fighting Devin Haney? Connor's not as accomplished as Devin Haney. Hell, he's not as accomplished as Teofimo. So what does this do for Tank? You went up and fought Mario Barrios, you beat him. So just to say, I went to 147 and fought a guy, okay. Like Bo Mac said, why is he not calling out the guys his size? Yeah, why is he not calling out a Jerron Ennis? I remember one time Keith Thurman was having an interview and they was talking about Connor Benn fighting him, and he was like, who? And I remember Keith Thurman saying he don't really know who, he don't even know who the guy is. And that's what he was talking about. I'm the new can man. Had that little pink shirt on, talking about I'm the new can man and anybody can get it and whatever, you know. But bottom line, this is what I'm saying. This is not a fight that Tank needs. And if anything, see, when you have minions, your minions can mislead you because that's who you listen to and you cater to. But you got to understand, when you get to a position where you have a lot of people with eyes on you, they'll walk away from you. And they'll say, you know what, this guy's coming in here and he's fighting who he wants to. I don't even know Connor Benn. Why is he fighting this guy? You understand? So I'm pretty sure the fight won't be in the UK. Connor's going to have to come in. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like where's it going to be? Do you think Tank Davis wants to leave his comfort zone? Absolutely not. So for Tank, you're fighting a guy that already has a tainted career. And you can't give a reason as to why you're not going to fight against Devin Haney. You can't give us a reason for not fighting any of these guys that we want to see you fight. And once again, when you start talking this niggas is broke bullshit, we getting money over here, niggas is definitely broke, Mr. I'm a Muslim Abdul Wahid, right? I'm a changed man. I turned a new leaf. Yeah, I'm spiritual now. Whatever. This is a fight that he doesn't need. Nobody cares about this fight. Nobody. And if you understand the fact that him and Tank was tweeting back and forth, anybody talking about it is not really saying anything, not saying anything good about this fight. So what exactly does this do for Tank Davis? Other than you beat a guy, you know, that's over there in the UK that nobody really knows who the fuck he is over here. You beat him. Okay. Why'd you even fight him in the first place? Why didn't you fight Devin Haney? Come on, guys. This is the type of stuff in boxing. Like, and y'all know, I always push for Tank to win when he fights, right? So if I'm sitting here pointing these things out, and I'm not sitting here being biased, well, you see, that's where I stand. This fight is meaningless as far as I'm concerned. It's meaningless. Fuck a legacy fight. Or it's just a stupid fight. Just because you put two guys' names together doesn't mean that that's a fight that people want. It doesn't mean it's a fight that needs to happen. And it definitely doesn't say that this is going to be a big fight just because Tank is in it. You understand what I mean? Because people are going to look at Connor and say, who the fuck is Connor? Now, I think that this fight would do better as far as the interest if it did happen in the UK. Only because, well, people know who Connor is over there. Nobody know who the fuck no damn Connor Benn is. People don't know Connor over here. So again, what's going to happen? He's going to come into that hostile environment. There's going to be a pro-Tank crowd, which like if he went in the UK, it'd be a pro-Connor crowd. But bottom line is where the fuck and why? Where do you have this fight and why? So this is a fight that it does nothing for Tank. And it does nothing for Connor Benn. Because if Connor Benn was to win, yo, you just beat a 135-pounder. Why you don't fight Jerron Boots? And you see, this is what I'm saying. So not only do people remember his 30 egg story, do not remember them finding a woman's fertility drug and inside in the system. And we know about the cycling out and all that stuff. Yeah, we get all of that. But that's my point. So now you go fight a 135-pounder? Then what? Then what? Like, his moves to go forward is not by going and fighting the top guys at his weight class. So if you're fighting at 154 now, what the fuck are you fighting a 135-pounder for? And see, the thing about his power, see, let me say this, okay? And this is true. the quality of your opponents, okay, the determination, all that. This is not just physicality. It's what's in here, how much heart you got, determination, or your guts. Because there's times we've seen guys go down, they could have finished, they could have got up, but they just, nope, they quit. Things of that nature. So for him to go up in weight to 154, so what? So fucking what? Little ass Pernell Whitaker went all up to 154 and fought a guy named Julio Cesar Vasquez. Beat him and took his belt. There wasn't no catch weight. He fought him at 154. He didn't stay there. Just an accomplishment when he went back down. Okay? But bottom line is, if you are looking at Connor Benn's career, you don't think world champion. You don't think elite level. Those are not the thoughts that come to your head. You just think, okay, Connor Benn, Nigel Benn's son. Still in the proving grounds. I like Connor Benn as a fighter, man. But this is something right here that does nothing for him. You know, Bivol beat Canelo. The difference in that is Canelo called him out and Canelo went up to 175 for the second time in his career. For Connor Benn, there's no reason for him to fight Tank Davis. You understand? There's no reason. What do you think they're willing to pay Connor Benn when they don't even want to pay Devin Haney? Let alone turn down $20 million by the Haneys. Let alone, you know, told the Saudis they better have 2 Ferraris outside of his car just to get him to come there, right? Just to be told, if you want, we send you 2 boxing gloves, right? So why? Why Connor Benn? So, you know, for Connor, it's like, man, you need to be fighting Jerron Boots Anderson, guys like that, Terrence Crawford. Those are the guys you need to be calling out. That's the fights you need to be trying to get. You know, and so all of this, yeah, but Tank's the face of boxing. So what? I don't care about all of that. What do you gain by fighting him? Okay, at one point, Sugar Ray Leonard was considered the face of boxing. Okay, so what? Mike Tyson, imagine Mike Tyson wanting to fight Sugar Ray. For what? Then what? What do you prove by beating little Sugar Ray? Sugar Ray going to go up to try to be a heavyweight to fight Mike Tyson? Like, stop it, y'all. It doesn't matter. Okay? When you are in a position where you need a fight and you don't really have names, no, that's the thing. What I'm saying, he has names. He has names. So I don't care about all that face of boxing, pound for pound business. I don't care about all that shit. All I care about is the fights happening, right? The right fights. And so, for Tank Davis, for him to waste his time with this fight, he has everything to lose. Connor has something to lose in terms of if he loses to this small guy, especially if he gets knocked out. But if he beats him, you were supposed to win, man. You're naturally a much bigger guy. You understand what I'm saying? So what's the purpose of this fight? That is where boxing has come to. And I had to remind you guys, yeah, the 30 egg story came from Connor Benn. It wasn't something made up. They didn't assume. I remember. If you remember, my video is right here. Up in his list. Yeah. Connor Benn 30 egg story has been accepted as the truth. Do you believe his 30 egg story or no? That's my video. Okay? 11 months ago. That's my video. Okay? That was his story. I remember the shit. Okay? So when you say he never said it, yeah, he did say it. Again, where do you guys think they got the story from? They got it from Connor. Look, real simple. Remember when Tyson Fury was claiming he was training to fight Usyk, all that bullshit, and that's the video where he was with Joseph Parker and they were in his room and he got the camera over his head. And remember, I forgot who it was that Javon Sugar Hill he came to the UK to train that guy. I forgot who it was. And what did Javon Sugar Hill say when he was asked about Fury and Usyk? He said, well, I don't know anything about Fury and Usyk. I'm not here to train Fury or anybody else other than whoever the guy was. But bottom line is, let's say Javon Sugar Hill heard that, but he didn't worry about it because he know it's not true and whatever. He just ignored it. Now that he's asked about it, okay, he made it clear he don't know anything about any training camp with Fury and for Usyk or whatever. He knows nothing about that. And that's when John Fury was saying that, he don't trust Javon Sugar Hill. He's a traitor. How is he a traitor? Why? Because he didn't go along with the lie. You understand? Javon Sugar Hill didn't give a fuck about that. That's my point. You clear your name. You clear your name. So how the hell is Deontay Wilder going to correct his people and say, hey man, stop telling people that my costume was too heavy when he actually said that shit? Same thing, y'all. Somebody say something that's not true, you make it known. You understand? You make it known. Tyson Fury said he was elbowed. We see what happened. A left hook land. Sharp chopping left hook in the inside. Nice and crisp. Boom. Okay? Not an elbow. Sugar Ray Leonard admitted when he got knocked out in the sparring before the Hagler fight. He straight up admitted it and said he's glad that it happened because it made him change the way he was going to approach that fight, because he said he was going to go at Hagler the way he fought Duran in the first fight. And him getting knocked out by a sparring partner made him wake up and realize, nah, man, let me box. Let me do what I'm supposed to do. There's no need for me to go in there and do what I'm doing, what I did in sparring. So he was honest enough to say, yeah, he got knocked out. Where you think I got the story from? You know what I mean? That's nothing new. I got it from Sugar Ray Leonard himself. You know? So what's the difference if somebody tell you what Sugar Ray Leonard said versus Sugar Ray saying it? Well, the only difference is, well, we know that he said it because it came out of his mouth. Again, where do you think they got the story? And Connor did not debunk the 30 egg story. And he never explained the woman's fertility drug. So just saying I'm innocent, I didn't do anything, we're going to prove what? How do you prove your innocence? How? Taking 30 eggs isn't illegal. Okay? So bottom line is, the advantages he was trying to get in terms of protein and whatever else he gets, like I said, that's my point. What was he trying to do with the 30 eggs, right? I take 30 eggs a day. Come on, y'all. And that's what I'm telling you. That's where that came from. So yeah, that shit did come from Connor Benn, y'all. It didn't come from nobody but Connor Benn. It was repeated. And again, he didn't debunk it. Simple. How is he going to debunk it? He's the one that told him that shit, y'all. That's all. He's the one that told him that shit. So, anyway, in signing off, just say Connor Benn versus Tank isn't a fight that I really care about seeing at all. It's a fight I'm not going to support. If anything, if it happens, boxing news is one thing, but that's not a fight that I'm willing to go out. I don't even care to see the fight, to be honest with you. And this is a fight that nobody really, who wants this shit? Who really wants to see this shit? So, Mr. 30 Eggs, Mr. versus I'm a Muslim, Mr. I'll still slap the shit out of you. It's just a meaningless fight. It's just a meaningless fight. So, anyway, talk to me in the comment section. I told y'all. You gotta remember, man, this is what I'm talking. I covered this fucking shit, this story with the 30 eggs, man. I covered that shit. Looking at my thumbnail right now. Okay, yeah. Plain and simple. He did it to himself. He put himself in his position. And you got all these different videos that I could still play. Yeah, I just don't want to, I don't want to have to just sit here and keep pausing because I want to get right to what they say. And, commercials and stuff popping up. I don't want to deal with all of that. But I played enough. You guys know, when time goes by, people do forget. Yeah, people do forget. But yeah, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.